Hey, welcome to the workshop on how to get out of your head and into the moment to unlock more presence, peace, and fulfillment by investing literally just 2 minutes per day. I'm thrilled that you're here because this is truly a life-changing training. I'm Tiffany Florentine. I'm a holistic life coach. I've served over 1,800 clients since 2013. I'm also a recovered management consultant and military veteran. And bottom line, I am obsessed with doing the work. I truly believe that the universe sent me so much pain and so much trauma and so many good times and so many tools, just the right experiences at the right time so that I can truly lean into this work. I hit my rock bottom 8 years ago and I've been obsessed with doing the work. I've been working on myself literally full time when it comes to like thousands of hours of therapy, podcasts, self-help books, yoga, meditation retreats, ayahuasca retreats. I just love learning about the work. And I believe that my calling is to go through all of that pain and find joy and really share these tools in the most efficient and potent way possible with other high achieving women. So that's why I'm here. I empower high achievers to up-level their health, relationships, and career through all of the things that I've learned along the way. Our focus for today is all about how to be present in the moment. We're going to go over why this really, really matters, how to actually get into the moment, and then we'll talk about what's next. Warning, when you invest 2 minutes, you will dramatically improve your life. Just 2 minutes per day. You'll unlock more presence, peace, and fulfillment. It'll empower you to up-level your health, relationships, and career, and you're actually going to get more time back in your day. This is not an extra thing for you to do. Rather, it will change how you do all the things all day long. Tips before we start, I encourage you to be all in. Watch this, take some notes. The more you're all in, the more impact you're going to get from this, the more you'll enjoy it. You'll catch my dad jokes, we'll just have a great time. And, if you need to be out and about and you're just walking, listening to this, or maybe you're cleaning while you listen to this, bottom line, I'm just glad that you're here. You do you. And if you are multitasking, or if you are somewhat distracted, that's okay. Come back to this training and repeat it over and over again. I'd encourage you, if you find a training or books that are really powerful, life-changing, instead of focusing on reading hundreds of books or taking in thousands of more podcasts, come back to the things that truly empowered you to move the needle, because you'll get more from it every time you listen. Because you're here, because this is the type of woman I attract, I'm going to assume that you're a high achiever. I bet that you are pretty solid in life overall. Perhaps you have a solid career, some solid relationships, health is pretty good overall. But at the end of the day, damn it, you know you're capable of more. Although you feel like, I should be happy, I should be fulfilled. I have this white picket fence life, I make decent money, things are good. But deep down, there's just this burning desire that you're meant for more presence, more fulfillment out of life. You want more peace in the moment, and perhaps you even want to create more of an impact. Bottom line is, you know you can up-level your health. You can treat yourself better, your mind and your body better, and you're not. And you know that you can have more expansive, fulfilling relationships. And you know that you can move up when it comes to career, but you don't know how to get there. And this drives you bananas because you know you're capable of more. If this is you, don't worry, I got you covered. When you think about up-leveling your health, your relationships, or your career, or all three, the number one place that I recommend that you start is right here, right now, mastering how to get in the present moment. Now, I bet you're wondering, Tiff, you said it's 2 minutes, but what is the actual time investment that I need to invest? It is actually 2 minutes, but you can invest 3, 4, 10 minutes. You do you. You can even invest 1 minute. You're going to get an impact from doing this literally 1 to 2 minutes every day, but you do you when it comes to the time. We'll talk about that more later. Number 2, you may be thinking, Tiff, is this meditation? You're probably like, I know since I'm stuck in my head, I need to meditate, and I've tried to meditate. I'll tell you, I tried to meditate. When I was at Deloitte and Ernst & Young in management consulting, working 80 hours a week, I just felt so anxious. I was so stressed. I was stuck in my head. I tried to meditate for years. I hung out with Andy from Headspace every damn morning. I tried the Calm app, Insight Timer, and I just felt like there were highly caffeinated squirrels zipping around my brain, and it drove me bananas. I thought something was wrong with me. Like, why can't I just focus? Like, what is wrong with my brain? So I will tell you, no, this is not meditation today. That's not what we're talking about. In fact, if you think you need to meditate so badly and you've tried it and it's not working for you, this is the perfect workshop for you. It's the perfect workshop. It's designed for people that really need to meditate, but since they need it so bad, they can't actually access meditation. So yes, you're in the perfect place. I got you covered. Now let's demystify being in the present moment. Sometimes this can get kind of fluffy and just spiritual and just not tangible. Bottom line, we're talking about training our focus to be on one thing at one time. That's all we're talking about. Now, why this matters, the bigger picture. When you are present in the moment and have mind and body connection, you are able to practice the pause. You are able to respond instead of reacting to life. Perhaps avoid snapping at your kids, snapping at your loved one, or sending that email bomb too early. Now, from here, when you're able to respond instead of react to life, you're also going to just be more connected with your body, more calm, and you're going to be able to more clearly articulate your needs and desires and dreams. And then you're going to be more in tune with them, which will empower you to start running your life according to your needs. This is going to empower you to up-level your health, your relationships, and career. Now, this is a process that's iterative. It's a cycle. You just keep going through this process. It never ends. You just keep getting better and better. This is the key to living life. Instead of surviving, this is the key to thrive. This is the key to more. It's everything. Happiness is only found in the present moment, and we are set up to fail. We're set up to actually be unhappy if we don't train to be in the moment. You see, our brain, when we are not in the moment, we're actually looking at the past or we're looking at the future. And science says when we're looking at the past, if we're just thinking, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that, I shouldn't have done that, I should be farther along. Science says that when we look at the past, it's directly linked to sadness and depression. Ugh. And when we look at the future and we're what-ifing, right? Like crazy. What if I don't get all this done? What if I never get the promotion? What if I never drop these 20 pounds? Oh, what if I never find the relationship that I deserve, right? When we what if, we're looking into the future, and that's directly linked to stress and anxiety. So bottom line, if we're out of the present moment, we're either sad or we're stressed and anxious. That's just how it works. The present moment is the only path to joy. It's like the gateway to joy. If we're not in the present moment, we have no shot at joy and being truly happy and truly content. No shot. This is a total bummer, right? Because we need to be in the present moment to access joy, but we're set up to fail. So what I'm telling you is if you don't do this work today, you're never going to access joy. It just takes 2 minutes per day. And we're set up to fail because of what I affectionately call the trifecta. These three things are setting us up to be out of the present moment and in that sadness or in that stress and anxiety. The first thing that sets us up to fail is the nag-bon amygdala. The amygdala is the emotional regulator in the brain that's always looking for what's wrong. That's our fight or flight mechanism, right? That's what's causing the what-ifing and the shooting all over ourselves. It's protecting us. Number two, you have that societal hustle and bustle and that do more, do it faster, that push mentality, grind it out. More is better, right? No pain, no gain. And then on top of that, number three, as women, we have the put everyone else first badge of honor, right? The more we put everyone else before ourselves, our partner, our kids, our work, society says, good job, that's what women do. Take care of everyone and everything before yourself. Yay. Right? So the trifecta really sets us up to be anxious, stuck in our heads, and eventually it all becomes too much. And we have this damn squirrel emporium. Literally, our thoughts are like highly caffeinated squirrels zipping around our brains. And it's too much, right? This is the what ifs and the shoulds in this squirrel emporium. Leaves us just stuck. We're just out of the moment and we have no shot at joy, contentment, and peace. We're literally reacting to life and we're in autopilot chasing these little buggers. Eventually, our mind and our body is just on overdrive. It's too much. Literally, it's too loud and our body's too amped up because mind and body connection. So we're on overdrive, which leads to us numbing. right? We're on autopilot and we're in survival mode. And essentially we have to just find some way to get out of that muck. So we find ourselves numbing, surviving. What this looks like is overthinking like crazy, just stuck in our heads, overworking, overeating, overspending, over scrolling, over drinking, and over medicating, right? This is what happens when we're on autopilot. The squirrels are running the show. Eventually, it becomes too much. The push mentality stacks up. And we're just tired from pretending to have it all together. And we're reacting instead of responding. And this is just pissing us off. We don't want to snap at our kids. We don't want to snap at our loved ones. We're not proud of how we're showing up. And like reacting instead of responding is leading to like overeating, right? Like showing up with food in a way we don't want to, not moving our bodies. And eventually we don't recognize ourselves anymore. So it's normal to feel overwhelmed and frustrated and want to just say, fuck it all, right? Or maybe you're in a spot where things have already started to crumble. Maybe this was all happening to you and now your marriage has crumbled as a result. Maybe you're in a transition phase right now and you're feeling a lot of pain. Just know that I see you and I feel you. I've been in your shoes and I'm just so glad that you're here. You're not alone and you are literally set up to fail. But like I said, you're in the right place. And I'm going to teach you exactly what to do to get some relief. Now, what this feels like in your body, typically, maybe you're feeling this right now. If you check in with your body, typically when we're all amped up and we have a squirrel emporium, you tend to feel like you're just stuck in your head. And you also feel like there's this brick on your chest, this heaviness. And also that comes along with a lump in your throat. It's almost just like if I stop, I'm just going to want to cry, right? It's just too much. You are not doomed. The solution is simple. Like I said, it takes 2 minutes per day. I'm a broken record. I know. And the reward is flipping huge. You're more connected to the moment, connected to your body. You're able to make deliberate decisions that you love when it comes to your health, relationships, career. You're able to respond instead of react in a way that you're proud. You start to love on yourself more, treat yourself better. Your wishbone turns into a backbone. You start to love others more because you're loving yourself more, and everything becomes better and brighter because of it. I will tell you, I've had so many clients tell me, Tiff, this work, investing 2 minutes per day, it is so life-changing. It's so simple, yet it's so profound. Like, I don't even understand. I can't compute, like, why this is so simple and how it's shifting my life so much. And that happens after weeks. So now we're going to talk about how to do this, how to actually get in the moment. Number one, you have an option every day. When you wake up, you can either be on autopilot and chase those squirrel buggers. What I mean is when you go to bed at night, those little asshats, they are breeding overnight. So when you wake up, they are everywhere. So you either roll out of bed and you start chasing after the squirrels all day long, right, on autopilot, reacting. Or option two, you know that the squirrels are breeding. So you wake up and you're deliberate with putting those little buggers on a leash every single day so that you can respond to life instead of react. This is a daily choice. Now, if you don't do this, that's okay. You can always come back and leash your squirrels later in the day. We're going to do this through this first step, which is inspired stillness. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through inspired stillness. There will be a couple steps, and this will be the activity that you do, like that 2 minutes every day. And then I'm going to walk you through a couple of different steps, which is going to change how you do the things throughout the day. And then I'm going to give you a cheat sheet to make it super simple. You literally write these things on a Post-it on your, put it on your computer. You can print it out. You do you. Okay, so inspired stillness. There's really 3 parts of this. Number one, we have to pick how much time we're going to invest. We have to pick the right tools. And we have to figure out how do we choose which tool is right for us every day. First of all, the duration. So I want you to pick a duration right now. Decide how long you are going to practice inspired stillness every single day. Now, it's key, since you're doing it every day, to make it a time frame that's completely doable. Now, if you're saying, oh, Tiff, I can try to do 15 minutes a day, I can try that. If you're saying the word try, you're setting yourself up to fail. What if you take the word try out? What would the duration be? If I said, could you do 2 minutes a day? You're like, oh, yeah, fuck yes, that's simple, Tiff. And that's a good place to start. Maybe I say, could you do 5 minutes? You're like, oh yeah, that's totally simple. You do you, just take the word try out of it. I want you to really focus on not really getting the impact from this activity, waiting for the clouds to part and like the unicorns to come skipping through. I want you to really focus on building self-trust, doing the shit you say you're going to do. So set the bar low. And if you want to sit in inspired stillness longer, do that. So pick your time frame right now, write it down. That's what we're committing to. Let's talk about the tools. When I say tools, I like to call these shifters. These tools are used to shift our thoughts into the present moment so that you can shift your feelings and shift your behaviors. That's it. So when you feel that stress, tension in your chest, shifters are always available. Let's talk about what shifters are. Basically, these are things that we can actually focus on, right? Because we can't turn our thoughts off, but we can control them. So with the shifters, we are actually directing our thoughts. So at any point, any day, if you feel bad, check in. If your thoughts are bad, you're going to feel bad. So know that you have 100% control of your thoughts at any time. And your body, the more you do this work, your body's actually going to tell you, you'll be like, and you go, oh, my body's like doing something. And then you go, what was I thinking about? Oh, I was worried about getting it all done. So the more you have mind and body connection, your body's going to tell you when your thoughts are shitty. It's pretty remarkable. Here's a list of some shifters. Now, these are just ideas. I'm tossing these out. It's like spaghetti in a wall, but this is your experiment. All of these shifters are designed to be immersive. Bottom line, I'm doing this one thing in the moment, and I'm thinking about like bringing in all of my senses as much as possible, like touch, sight, smell, like being all in. Like I said, these are examples you can add to this list. What I want you to do right now in your notebook is write down shifters that sound delicious to you. You're like, I'd like to try that. That sounds good. Or write down other things that sound delicious to you. Bottom line, they're immersive, meaning the mind and body are in the game at the same time. One of them is take 10 breaths. This is one of my favorites for new clients. Instead of rolling over when your alarm goes off in the morning and looking at that glowing square, that damn phone, what you're going to do is hit the side of your phone. Just turn off the alarm. You're going to set the phone face down. You're going to resist the urge to get on the phone, right? Because that's just going to breed more squirrels. Just resist the urge if it feels right. Ask yourself, is it going to feel good to leave my phone? And if you say no, like, just leave it there. You're going to go ahead and sit up on the edge of your bed, and you're going to take 10 breaths. All you're going to do while you're breathing is focus on the breath moving in and out of your body. You're just thinking about the breath, thinking about focusing on the breath, because your squirrels are going to zip through, right? They're just going to, they're going to want you to tangle with them. Perhaps it's going to be like, what am I going to have for lunch today? Oh, what do I have to get done? All you're going to do is label the squirrel, work, food, right? Just label him and let him go away and resist the urge to jump in. So when you're taking your 10 breaths, you're going to come back to the breath and you'll be like, ooh, I feel the breath coming in through my nose, out through my mouth. Ooh, I'm just sending the breath to my face and softening my face. I love to send it down my body, kind of a body scan, and send softness to every area of my body. And be gentle with yourself because your mind is untrained. Like you're used to chasing squirrels. This is practice. It will never be perfect. Be gentle. Label the squirrels. Flick those buggers away. Body scan, I just alluded to what that is, right? Just going down the body and send air. Just check in on how you're feeling. Another one is just stretching. Stretch for a couple of minutes, whatever your time frame is, say 2 minutes. You're just going to feel into the stretch. You're going to get curious. You're just going to do what feels good. Another one is journaling. I love to think about not just gratitude journaling, like I'm thankful for my friends. I'm thankful for my puppy Ernie. I'm thankful for the work I love. No, you're going to think about the feeling behind it. I'm so grateful for doing this work. I get to see my clients move from hopeless to hopeful. I get to see my clients move from relying on me to relying on their damn self-accountability. Like I could feel that. I literally get chills from thinking about that. So I want you to think about feeling into the journaling. Another one is reading. Think about reading as conscious consumption. Everything you put in your brain matters. So take a couple of minutes just to read something. Be with the book. Maybe you like hold the book, the actual paper book, and you smell it and you're all in. You got your coffee and you're reading something that feels good. Right? Because if we have control of our thoughts, we want to put good things in for good thoughts because that drives our feelings and that drives our behaviors. So think about putting food for thought and putting good nuggets into your brain when it comes to reading. And also take that through the day. Like be conscious of what you put in your brain when it comes to social media, when it comes to news. All of that stuff has a huge impact on your thoughts. If you want recommendations on what to read, what book to start with on your journey, please send me a DM. I've so many recommendations on books to start with based on where you are in your journey when it comes to your inner work. Another one is porch sitting, literally just chilling on your porch, taking in the sights, the sounds, the smells, just getting really curious, like noticing things that you haven't noticed. Another one is pup cuddles. I'm going to do this. Maybe this is too much. I don't care. Pup cuddles, right? Pup cuddles is, this is Ernie, baby. Pup cuddles, this has been my number one shifter when I first wake up. So I do the pup cuddle jam, and then I do the breathing, and then I go read for a few, oh my God, he's falling asleep. Then I go read for a few minutes. So pup cuddles could be like, I'm thinking about my day, right? I'm thinking about what I have to get done. I'm like kind of distracted. Or I'm like playing with Ernie. I'm like, oh, little guy, good morning, Ernie. Right? And I'm like, he stinks so bad. I'm taking in his smell. Not bad, like Ernie, like corn chips. But I'm like taking him in. I'm being with the little guy. I'm looking him in the eye, right? This is so good for regulation, so good for presence. It's so different to like be with him versus like grab my phone and be distracted. So think about pup cuddles. Maybe you got a cat. Maybe you got a turtle. Like cuddle your pet. Be with your pet. They're living human beings. Being like co-regulate, like be with them is a beautiful thing. Another one, I love me a paint by number. I think it's so fun to get lost in paint by number. You could also do puzzles, embroidery, cross stitching, crochet, drawing. Think about getting your artistic flex on that you haven't in a while. Just be all in with something. Another one is breath work. Love that one. Basically anything immersive. If you have questions, send me a DM on Instagram. I will give you more ideas. So inspired stillness, you may be thinking, well, what do I do every day, Tiff? Like, how do I choose? You are your own guru. You're going to know exactly what sounds delicious for you. And so the key with all of my work and all of the things I coach my clients on is it's all about self-inquiry, right? Asking yourself, what would feel amazing for me? And this is not the way our brains work, right? Because we're designed to like push through things, be in resistance versus be in flow. Like, what would feel amazing for me today? And so with stillness, I really want you to focus on that self-inquiry. Like, what do I want? What do I need? What sounds delicious? Is it pup cuddles? Is it journaling? Is it reading, breath work? Like, just take what you need and what sounds amazing. There are truly only two energies in this life. Two. One is resistance, which is that push mentality, which is like stress, anxiety, frustration, irritation, all of that muck. And then on the other end of the spectrum is flow, which is peace, calm, inner contentment, all that magic. Whenever you're thinking about building a new habit, right, with inspired stillness or nutrition or movement, or perhaps it's just think about building a new habit, bottom line, the most potent way and the most sustainable way to get a new habit to stick is to practice self-inquiry and say what feels amazing for me, right? If we love something, we do more of it. So I want you to experiment, play with it, make it flowy, make it yours. This is your practice. I am just your guide and you are the damn guru. When to practice inspired stillness? Well, I told you that those squirrel buggers are breeding overnight. So I would highly recommend doing it first thing in the morning. I would put your squirrels on a leash instead of chasing them. But bottom line, if you forgot to do your stillness in the morning, you may catch yourself like beating yourself up. Maybe you feel like you're tense. You catch the squirrel zipping around. Then just take a beat. Just take 1 to 2 minutes to rock out a shifter so that you can put them on a leash for the rest of the day instead of chasing them around. But at the end of the day, I want you to do it when it benefits you the most. So if it's in the morning, I think there's a wild benefit because you get the juice all day long. You also may do more shifters because you're like, this feels so good. Like I think about using shifters to start a new segment, right? So if a lot of my clients, if they're driving home from work, they'll sit in their driveway and actually practice stillness for 2 minutes so they can then come into the house and start a new segment. If you work from home, maybe you do that right before you walk back out into the living room to be with your family. But think about it as you can use these to shift at any moment, shift your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and you can use them to like be more into and more present in any segment of your life. But also, you have to consider the angstometer. It is so common that people are trying to use the wrong shifters at the wrong time. You need the right shifters at the right time. Now, let me tell you what the angstometer is. Essentially, the angstometer is a 1 to 10 scale. I want you to rate yourself. Think about where you are when it comes to your current stress level. Now, if you're an 8 to a 10, you're ready to like flip tables. You're like, right? Your body's tense. Your shoulders are to your ears. You got the short squirrel breathing. You're just angsty as hell. That's an 8 to a 10. Now, below that, I will say like a 4 to a 7. You look cool as a cucumber, but like inside, you're not at all, right? Like, the squirrels are running, but you're like, you're better than an 8 to a 10, but you're still like not okay. You're pretending to be okay. And below that would be like a 1 to a 3, perhaps like a monk meditating in the Himalayas, right? That's a good place to be to meditate. So you can see now where you're like, I need to meditate. And you try to access meditation, but you're not a 1 to 3. It doesn't work. And the reason is when you are between an 8 to a 10 and you're stressed as hell and that stress is rolling through your body, the cortisol is ripping through your body. You actually don't have access to the cognitive part of your brain. It's offline, right? The amygdala has taken over the show and you are just in squirrel emporium. And so we can't access the part of our brain. So if I told you, go ahead and journal to shift, or I want you to do some pup cuddles, that'll solve everything, or maybe some self-affirmations. You're like, shut the hell up, Tiff, it's not what I need. So what you need is something different. If you're between an 8 to a 10, you need an intent shifter. I like to call these a microburst. An example would be punching the hell out of your pillow, like raging on your bed, punching the pillow, screaming into the pillow. Another one would be ground to overheads. I love this. I take 2 dumbbells and I literally go from the ground and I press them overhead. I use kind of heavy weights. I go for about 30 seconds to a minute and a half. Literally around a minute of intense activity is really going to release. Another one would be burpees. Just think about intensity. You're running in place with high knees. One of my favorites, you can actually search this. You could Google it or I can send you a link. A shaking meditation. Right? Literally shaking your entire body to shake out the energy. This will empower you to get that stress cortisol out of your body to then bring your brain, the cognitive part of you, back online. Now, I want to point this out too, because it's important. Like when we think about regulation, we have to get that cortisol out to access our brain. Think about an animal, right? If you're walking your dog and a dog sees another dog, he feels threatened, he barks his face off, and then what he immediately does, he shakes his whole body, literally shakes it. He regulates his body, right? As humans, we don't do that. We get a stressful email, right? We go through a breakup. We go through a big life traumatic event. We just keep storing the trauma in the body. We keep storing, closing, more tense. We don't regulate like animals. So think of this as regulating. You're getting the energy out so that you can begin to come back to the moment. Then after you get that energy out, like if you're feeling that stress in your chest, that lump in your throat, and you're like between an 8 to a 10, you're going to need to cry. Like literally let yourself cry. It is so common that my clients just are on the brink of tears. Like I tell you what, when I do a first call with 98% of the women I talk to, they cry. Even men. I have a couple of clients that are men. They cry. Like we've been holding all that shit in our body for so long, right? And that pressure, we just need to cry. So it's normal that when you do a microburst shifter, that you're just going to need to bawl your eyes out for a few minutes afterwards. And I'm giving you permission to fucking cry. Lean into it. And don't focus on why, right? Our brain wants to explain, well, why are we crying? What are we going to do with that? Like, why are we going to solve this? What? Like, I shouldn't be crying. Like, no, just cry into the feeling in your body. Literally be with the feeling. If you feel it in your chest, cry into it, sink into it. Just like shed tears and feel into that pain. And the more you feel into that pain, the more pain that you feel, it opens up your ability to love. Think about that, right? The more I can dip my toes, the more I can lean into pain, it opens up my capacity to love. You just have more capacity on both sides of that emotional spectrum. It's really powerful. Step 2, monotasking. Well, let me put a little bow on the first part. So step 1 was inspired stillness, 2 minutes per day. Do whatever feels delicious to you. Step 2 is monotasking. Doing one thing at one time. Maybe thinking, well, Tiff, I am just really damn good at multitasking. I even have it as a bullet on my resume. I've been mastering this my whole life. I'm gonna burst your bubble. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Multitasking is not a thing. The human brain only has one spotlight of awareness. That's it. One spotlight. So when I think I'm multitasking, right? So here I am teaching this workshop. And then I'm going to go check my phone. Then I'm going to go, I don't know, check my phone. I'm going to read this book for a little and pet my dog. Right? When I am shifting from thing to thing, I'm task hopping. I'm not multitasking, right? I'm switching things. I'm not doing them all at the same time. I'm hopping. And when I hop from thing to thing to thing, that is squirrel fuel. Literally, I'm breeding my angsty squirrel. So your squirrel emporium just keeps growing the more that you quote unquote multitask. And science shows that when you task hop from thing to thing to thing all day long, the average productivity dump is 40%. So here you are like, I'm so busy, I have to multitask, right? You're actually dumping 40% of your productivity because it takes your brain time to catch up. I'm emailing, I'm focused. Then I shift to a phone call. It takes me time to be in that combo, then come back to teach this workshop. Woof! So when you monotask, when you do one thing at one time, you're actually going to get a lot more done. And you'll be present in the moment, which is the gateway to actually enjoy the experience. So when you do one thing at one time, you'll get way more done, and life will just be a lot more fun. Whether it's doing the dishes, having a deep convo with a friend, emailing, like life is just more fun when you're all in. Step 3, belly breathing. This is your superpower and is always accessible. And it decreases stress immediately. So throughout the days, you have this improved mind and body connection. You can feel yourself just like tight in the chest, shoulders are creeping up again, your mind is racing. I want you to think about leaning into your superpower, which is belly breathing, because it reconnects the mind and the body. It brings you right back to the present moment. And ultimately, we won't be belly breathing all the time, but it's gonna take practice. So be gentle with yourself. We're actually going to practice this now. So you may have heard of this. You may have no idea what I'm talking about. Wherever you are, it's totally fine. It's also called diaphragmatic breathing. I want to make this as simple as possible. I was in a meditation workshop in Bali, and I just love the way that this guy taught this. He just said, pretend like you're a librarian. I want you to make the shh sound on the exhale. So we're going to do that. We are going to make the exhale super active, and we're going to make the inhale super passive. Just practice. Let's do it now. So if you're seated in your chair, I want you to shimmy your peach to the edge of the chair. And I want you to look down and make sure that your knees are stacked over your heels. Then what I want you to do is tuck your tail feather, your tailbone, just under a bit to where your abs are on just a little bit. Then you're going to take your thumbs and you're going to turn them to the back of the room, which is going to give you this proud chest and kind of open heart sensation. Okay. From here, take your palms and place them on your thighs gently. If it feels right, I want you to close your eyes. Like we're literally going to shift right now. We're going to practice a shifter. Watch us. Okay. So breathe into the nose. Breathe out through the mouth, making a sound for longer than you think you can. Keep going. And squeeze your belly at the end of the exhale, and then let the inhale be passive. The bigger your belly, the better. And then back out. I want you to put your hand on your belly. Squeeze the belly at the bottom and let it passively come up. And keep going. Find a rhythm that works for you. Right? I don't care if it's 5 seconds out, 3 seconds out, 10, you do you. So the goal is to make the sound for longer than you think you can. Squeeze and then back in passive. We're going to do a couple more. Back out. Nice and soft. Soften your face, soften your shoulders. Your pace is perfect. Find your rhythm. Soften the face, soften the shoulders, soften the hands. And one more. Really sink in. Just feel. Melt into the chair. All right. Coming out of that. How does that feel? That you feel a little bit more present, that you feel a bit of a shift. I want you to keep practicing that. If you feel like, oh, Tiff, I couldn't get any movement from the belly, my shoulders kept popping up. I want you to practice this by laying on the ground. You're going to put the small of your back against the ground and really focus on getting that movement in the belly. Focus on being that librarian. Okay. Step 4, assume good. At the end of the day, we are all doing the best we can. Given our life experiences, given our trauma, given our education, given our parents, given everything that we've been through. We are all doing the best we can. Per Brene Brown, like we all want to feel love, we all want to belong, and we all go about it in different ways. So we may be thinking, oh God, like people don't do the best they can, right? They can't be doing better. Here's the deal. Per Brene, when we just assume good, this is a gateway to feeling more emotional freedom, right? It's a gateway to a wholehearted life because every time we worry about someone else, we're giving away our power. So if we truly care about being our best selves, every time, it's silly to focus on someone else because every time we focus on what someone else is doing, we are hiding from our own work. I'll say it again. Every time we focus on what someone else is or is not doing, we are hiding from our own work. So it is truly emotional freedom, and we stay in our power when we just assume good and let people do what people are going to do. What this looks like, extending grace to others. I like say you get cut off in traffic. I like to think maybe the guy is on the way to a hospital. Maybe there's an emergency, right? And he's just got Squirrel Emporium. He's just gassing it. Like he's blowing stop signs, blowing red lights. Like you never know, right? Extending grace. Like he's doing the best he can because he's caught in Squirrel Emporium. He doesn't have these tools. And I want you to extend grace to yourself. So maybe thinking like, I should be farther along. I should, case of the shoulds, right? So if you're caught in the case of the shoulds, here you are in this moment. You are working on yourself. You're making progress. So any thought that looks at the past, right, or looks at the future, just beating yourself up, you're literally stopping your car on Progress Highway, getting out, throwing your arms in the air, right, to go, I'm not going there fast enough. It's silly. You're literally stopping your progress car to complain about where you're not instead of taking that precious time and energy and investing that into making more progress. So I know that you know that that's silly, but I love to think about it. When I catch myself beating myself up, I'm like, oh, if I really want to be better, like just take that energy and move on, be better. Put it into doing something. Assuming good is going to give you immediately like more presence, get out of the squirrel banter, and just give you more emotional freedom. All right, your cheat sheet, bringing it all together. 2 minutes or 5 minutes, your jam of inspired stillness every day. It's your daily squirrel management routine. And secondly, you're going to change how you do the things all day long by focusing on the big framework, belly breathing, doing one thing at one time, and assuming good of yourself. So what I love when I think about assuming good, when I catch myself jumping from thing to thing throughout the day, I have a mantra. You might have your own mantra. Maybe use this one if it feels authentic to you. But as I'm jumping around, saying I'm email and I'm working on this workshop, I just go, I'm going to do one thing. I belly breathe and I say I'm going to do one thing at one time. And I honor and I love my best effort. And this brings me right back into the moment. Also, something to note when your focus is all over, this has really been helping me. Instead of like, Tiff, don't leave it a monotask. I'm in a monotask. I push into it. Just ask yourself, what do I want to focus on right now? It is profound, right? Again, moving from resistance, pushing into the moment to flow. What do I want to focus on? What would feel good? Well, I decided to work on this workshop, so I actually want to focus on it. Like I'm excited to get it done. 99% of the time, you're going to want to be focused on the thing that you're doing because you've already decided to do it. But it's just so inviting and so warm and gentle to just be like, what do I want to focus on? I want to be all in on this. Like I want to enjoy it. It's pretty remarkable. What's next? I highly recommend that you take a squirrel inventory. The more connected your mind and body are, the more you're going to be in tune with the squirrel stories. You're going to start to hear them more clearly. I want you to take a squirrel inventory and literally list them all out. You may have 10, 15, 50, right? Like it could be around health, relationships, career. Like write out all the stories. Like, oh, I'm not far enough. Oh, I'm never going to lose this weight. Oh God, should I be in this marriage? Oh, should I be friends with this person? They're treating me bad. Write down all of the squirrels. Then what I want you to do is triage the easy ones. Right? If there's something in the future that you literally have no control over, or it's something somebody else is going to do, just agree with the squirrel. Like I looked that squirrel bird in the eye and I'm agreeing not to address this for 6 months, or I'm agreeing to like make that call and then let it be because like there's a process to it. I can't do anything. So triage the easy ones and then park them, right? Be done with them until that time frame. Or resolve the easy ones, right? If you can take a quick action to resolve a squirrel, just do it. So we triage them, park them, like do what you need to do and reach out for help, right? You're not alone. Like I am a professional squirrel wrangler and I would love to help you because you're here and because you're working on yourself. Like I would be honored to help you with some of these squirrels. This is literally what I do all day, every day. So I would love for you to book a complimentary squirrel triage call. And I'm offering these for a limited time. These will not be around forever because I'm one human, right? I can't meet with everyone all the time, but I'm offering these right now. I highly recommend that you jump on my calendar. We're going to dig in. We're going to triage a squirrel. And on that call, I'm going to work with you to build a step-by-step roadmap to get more emotional freedom, to manage that squirrel, right? So you're putting him on a leash and he's not owning you anymore. Why am I giving away my time? Because I lead with love. Like, I just love this work. I love empowering other high-achieving women. It sets my soul on fire. And by leading with love and just by offering advice and resources and tools, the right clients just keep finding me at the right time. And I trust that will continue to happen. And every time I coach on one of these things, it empowers me to build more content so that I can get it out into the world to impact thousands and eventually millions of people. Now, you may be wondering, how do I work with you, Tiff? Like, what do you do? Currently, what I'm doing is I'm offering one-on-one mentorships. I call this program Soul Science. It's literally 10 years of progress in 4 months. What I do is I work with clients one-on-one and I teach them my personal power methodology, which includes nervous system regulation. I empower them to build consistent, healthy habits to reach their health goals. And I empower them to make peace and process with and process past trauma. And then in addition to that, once they're stable in their power, they also have a step-by-step roadmap to optimize health, relationships, and career. Again, that's a one-on-one mentorship. I'm also working on a course where you're going to have access to me. It's going to be more of it will be more self-guided, but you'll also have a place to interact with me, and I'll also be actively teaching. That is in the works. If you have questions on that, send me a DM. You might be thinking, how is working with you unique, Tiff? Here's the deal. These 3 things make working with me super unique. You get unlimited support in the game coaching, right? I am with you every step of the way as the squirrels attack to celebrate you, and I truly empower you to go from accountability to me to self-accountability in just 4 months. I have a proven methodology when it relates to health, relationships, and career because I just bashed my head into a wall for so many years and I've been working on myself full time. I have so many resources. I'm just a ninja at packaging things that work together. And finally, what's different is I coach based on structured autonomy. That is how I get things done with you. Meaning you are the guru and I am your guide. We are cruising down this 6-lane flow highway, right? We're in the car together. You're driving and I'm riding. Our hair is just blowing in the wind. I've been on this highway so many times. It's your first time, but I'm guiding you. I'm guiding you to your end goals, but you are in charge. You are the guru saying, this feels good. And I'm like, try this, try that. You're like, that feels good. I don't like that. You're building your path so this magic is sustainable forever. And I guarantee the results. I literally have clients rank on a 1 to 10 scale where they are with health, relationships, and career, and they see a shift. I work with them for 4 months, but they see a shift literally in weeks. I see clients go from a 2 all the way up to an 8.5 within the first couple of months. Some of them shift in these categories with health, for example, from a 2 to an 8 within weeks, right? So the transformation is legit. Bottom line, you rate yourself and you move from a 2 to a 4 is normally a starting point up to around an 8 to an 8.5 in all 3 areas. And you're accountable to yourself. So the stuff sticks forever. So that's how working with me is unique. And bottom line, work with me or not, find me free content. I just care that you keep the momentum. I care that you are on this journey where you are becoming a better human. And then if I can offer you any value, like I'm so down. So book a Squirrel Triage call with me. If I'm offering them right now, there's going to be a link in an obvious place down below. And I want you to connect with me via Instagram. I love talking to the people that are doing the work. Please reach out. And there's my handle. Bottom line, you are a badass, beautiful human for doing this work. I truly believe that when we have access to these tools that empower us to have more consciousness, whether it's self-help books, therapy, learning like this, right? Any tool or resource that you have, like you're fortunate to have it. Not everyone has the capacity and access to these tools. So I truly believe that you and I have a responsibility. Once we have access, it's on us to be more conscious. It's on us to be in our alignment and have this beautiful energetic bubble that then impacts everyone around us. So I honor you for being here, for doing this work, and I am just thrilled to be a part of your journey. Please reach out. Please book a Squirrel Triage call. Do whatever feels right for you. And until then, have a beautiful day.